Many of us are being flooded with information about the state of our world right now. It's not hard to feel like we're living through a constant low-grade emergency. We see a record-breaking storm in the one headline and a financial collapse in the next. And it feels like the rule book for a stable life has been shredded. So if you feel disoriented, if you feel like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop constantly, you aren't alone. And that feeling isn't a personal failure. It's a natural response to a world where the infrastructure of our safety net is visibly shifting. So instead of adding to that noise or shouting about the latest disaster, I thought I'd look at something deeper this time. The psychology of how we stay present in these times. In this video, I want to focus on how we build emotional infrastructure, meaning the internal systems that allow us to look at the data without falling into despair. To understand climate anxiety, we have to look at it as a system. The system is defined by a massive gap between the scale of the problem and the scale of an individual's life. Here are some clear advantages to climate anxiety. It means you're paying attention and that you care, but the limit we're facing is capacity. After all, we are biological creatures with nervous systems that have evolved to handle local threats. A fire in the camp or a storm on the horizon. We did not evolve to process the ecological collapse of an entire planet in real time on a 5-inch screen. The key dynamic of what drives our distress is what psychologists call the window of tolerance. This is the mental space within which we can actually function and think clearly. But when the input, so the news, the heat waves, the statistics, become too heavy, it pushes us out of this window. We can hit hyper-arousal, which is a state of panic or distress. We feel that we must act now, but we don't know how. Or it might be hypo-arousal. This is a state where we shut down, we numb out, we doom scroll for hours because we're literally paralyzed by the scale of the problem. The engine of climate anxiety isn't the problem itself. It is the constant cycling, the constant back and forth between those two extremes. According to recent studies, over 60% of young people reported feeling very worried or extremely worried about the state of the climate. But here's the interesting shift. Just a decade ago, this was framed as a niche environmental concern. Today, it's a primary driver of mental health trends globally. In the US alone, 2024 saw a record 55 climate-related disasters exceeding $1 billion in damages each. We aren't just imagining the stakes. The physical evidence of change is now moving faster than our collective ability to integrate it. But this is where things get more complicated. The common advice is often to stay positive or focus on the wins. There's a downside to that that's often overlooked. Forced optimism is exhausting. When we pretend things are fine to stop feeling anxious, we create a secondary layer of stress. We start feeling gaslit by our own positivity. The complication isn't the anxiety itself, it's the energy we spend trying to hide from it. We can see this playing out in how different parts of society deal with crises. In isolated, high-consumption societies, climate anxiety often manifests as guilt, as personal guilt. Did I buy the right straw? Did I recycle that lid? In contrast, in communities that have already faced long-term displacement or environmental hardship, resilience is rarely individual. It's communal. They don't ask, how do I feel better? They ask, how do we help each other? The pattern is clear. Isolation amplifies anxiety, while community stabilizes it. None of this is easy to fix, because our modern systems were not built for slow, collective care. They were built for efficiency, for individual competition, and for high-speed consumption. Our digital platforms are designed to keep us in that hyper-arousal state, because outrage generates more clicks than reflection. We're trying to build emotional steadiness on platforms that were literally engineered to cause us emotional unsteadiness. This is a massive structural constraint. This matters because how we handle our own anxiety determines the way we handle the future. What is really being tested here is not just our environment, but our capacity to remain human under pressure. If we allow ourselves to go numb, we lose the empathy required to fix the system. If we burn out, we lose the hands required to do the work. Moving from coping to meaning means accepting that we're living in a time of loss, but also in a time of profound connection. Your anxiety isn't a glitch, it's your tether that keeps you connected to the living world. I'd be interested to hear how you see this. How do you find your rhythm when the news feels like a constant roar? Does the idea of a window of tolerance change how you look at your own bad days? There are no easy answers here, but there's a lot of value in just standing on firm ground together. Definitely something to keep in mind. Thank you for joining me today. See you again soon.